Hello, my most amazing 4G artists. Today we're going to talk about the elements of art a little bit more, and we're going to look at a painter who was an American painter by the name of Winslow Homer, and we're going to look at his paintings and talk about what we see with the elements of art. So to get ready for that, let's practice our elements of art chant. I know it seems silly, but do it with me. Here we go. Line, shape, color, baby, color, form, value, texture, space. All right, good job. So I'm going to flip the camera around and take a video of some paintings that I want to show you, and we'll talk about where we see the elements of art in those paintings. The first thing I want to tell you about Winslow Homer is that he lived from 1836 until 1910. And as you get to know a little bit more about the Civil War, as you learn about it in 4G history class, you will find out that the Civil War in America lasted from 1861 until 1865. So Winslow Homer was alive during that time, and in fact, one of his first jobs as an artist was with a newspaper or magazine called Harper's Weekly. Harper's Weekly hired him to draw pictures of the Civil War. And so he would draw these pictures from the battlefield, and then Harper's Weekly would print them in their newspaper. So that's why this is in black and white. It's printed in a newspaper. And the thing I want you to notice from our elements of art is the idea of value. We learned that value is a range of shades from light to dark. And so you can see in here all sorts of different values of the color black. So white to very dark black, and then all the different gray colors in between. So I just want you to notice for a minute that you really can make things look pretty lifelike, pretty realistic, just using values from light to dark with the color of black. This next painting is one of his most famous works of art. It's called The Dinner Horn. And what you'll notice is that this is not a scene from the war. In fact, after the war, Winslow Homer was known to be painting really like serene and calming scenes from everyday life. And I think that that's probably what he was craving after dealing with the horrors of war. So it's nice to see kind of a calm, peaceful, beautiful painting. One thing I want you to notice here from our elements of art is the idea of space. Artists have these tricks for helping us see space even though it's a flat canvas. So even though we know this is flat, it still looks like some things are far away and some things are closer to us. Now, obviously, the central figure here of the woman who's blowing the horn, she seems pretty close to us. That's because she's one of the larger objects in the picture, and she's positioned down lower towards the bottom of the painting. The things that seem farther away, like this cow, for instance, that's positioned further up on the canvas, and of course it's a lot smaller because that's what it would appear like if we were looking out into the distance. So same thing with the trees. You can tell this tree is closer than those trees in the background. This one is closer. You can see more detail. Those ones are further away. You cannot see the detail. So that's how artists create space on a two-dimensional flat canvas. This is one of my favorite paintings by Winslow Homer. It's called Snap the Whip, and it shows some schoolboys out at play at recess time, and they're playing a game where they hang on to each other, and one boy on this side, he's like the anchor, and he tries to stay put, and he just turns in a circle, and these other boys run in a circle, and what happens is that the boys on the very end of the chain have to run super, super fast, and eventually they can't keep up, and they go flying off. Now, I don't recommend this. This game could probably get some kids hurt, but if you're playing in the soft grass like these boys are, hopefully they wouldn't get injured. But I love that this painting just looks like a lot of fun. So a couple things I want you to look at for our elements of art. I want you to notice the idea of color. All right, so we see lots of different colors in this painting. I want you to notice that the red color of the schoolhouse back here makes that building kind of show up in a prominent way. So it shows that Winslow Homer wanted us to realize that that was a school building, that that building was important. And then I love how he matches that color to these flowers down here. It creates a balance in the picture. The other thing I want you to notice is where are some cool colors. The cool colors are usually the blues, greens, and purples. So you see a lot of the grass has the green cool color, the blue sky, nice and cool. And then a lot of the boys have blue jackets on or pants. So we've got lots of cool colors, lots of warm colors. It's the kind of picture that uses all sorts of colors from our color wheel. All right, the last one I'm going to show you is one of Winslow Homer's watercolor paintings. He's one of my favorite artists because I love painting in watercolor. So I love looking at his watercolor paintings. So later on in his life, Winslow Homer moved out to the east coast of our country, and he lived in Maine. And out in Maine, there is a lot of fishermen and lots of activity by the water. And so he would paint all sorts of paintings that involved the ocean or the water, and this is one of them. This one is called Waiting for Dad. And I want you to notice different lines in this painting. So line is one of our elements of art, and let's see what we can find. You'll notice that there are a couple really great diagonal lines in the focal point of this boat right here. Let's see if you can point to a horizontal line. Horizontal. Point to it. There's a few. Maybe you saw the horizon line. Of course, the word horizon comes from the word horizontal, and so that line across there is exactly what I wanted you to notice. You'll also notice a vertical line. Let's see if you can find that. There's a couple of them, but this was the one I noticed over here. It looks like a stand of some kind, maybe where they're drying out some of their fishing gear. And then, of course, we have all sorts of curvy lines, lines that have curves to them. So you can see over here, it looks like Winslow Homer didn't even finish painting this part of the painting. He's sketched in some curvy rocks here. You'll see some curves over here too. And then some of the bumpy lines, just kind of organic lines down here in the sand that you'll notice there too. So lots of interesting curves here. And the curve of his hat looks kind of like that curve. We draw that a lot when we're in art class. It's kind of what I call the rainbow curve. All right, so those are just a few pictures by Winslow Homer. He painted hundreds of pictures, so you can always even go online and look up more paintings by him if you want to see what else he painted. All right, so for your art assignment this week, if you are in my art class with hybrid learning, then we will continue working on our color wheel I. We'll do that in class. If you're on distance learning full time, then I'll have another video up that shows you how to finish your color wheel I. See you next time.